All right, so again, we're looking at division with a whole number divided by a decimal number, so 2 divided by 8/10. And we'll look at the two strategies again, the common sense strategy and the procedural base 10 block strategy. This one's a little bit more spicy, a little bit more difficult because the last time we did 2 divided by a half, and it's a little bit easier to think about 2 divided by a half because, well, 4 nice and even groups go into 2. But in this case, when we think about 2 divided by 8/10, it can be a little bit more difficult to understand that concept. So we're going to go back to the same idea of we have 2 and we need to divide it into groups of 8/10. Again, we can't separate this into groups of 8/10, so we're going to get rid of these. We're going to substitute them. So here we go. So we've got, there's 1 and there's 2. So I'm still keeping my 2, but now I'm able to break it up into groups of 8/10. So if I just go, I'm just going to take away 2 because there's 10 of them here. So there's a group of 8/10, and there's a group of 8/10, but I still have 4 left over. So this is the entirety of all of these blocks is 2, and I've got one group of 8/10, I've got another group of 8/10, but what's going on here? So I'm left with 4. Well, the common mistake is that we'll say that the answer is 2 and 4/10, but this is not 4/10. What this represents is half of a group of 8/10. So instead of saying the answer is 1, 2, decimal 4, we say that it's 2 and 4 out of 8, like a fraction, 2 and 4 over 8. And we can also represent that as a decimal, which is 1, 2, decimal 5, 2.5. So how many groups of 8/10 go into 2? Well, 1 group, 2 groups, but only half of another group. So the answer is 2 and 5/10.